Hey, once again, it's raw confessional time. The time where I highlight my faux pas, my mistakes, my sins, my prejudices, my ignorance, and repent of those such things. And in the hopes that those that are listening may see maybe similar or the same faults and are able to kind of target their own dirty laundry and better themselves by that. I mean, confession is good for the soul, and I've said over and over that once you confess a sin and you confess it publicly, it no longer has that secretive lure or power over you. You've broken that power. So today I want to talk about stereotypes. Likely the very vast majority of us would not want to admit that we have that we stereotype, or that we have any sort of racism or prejudice or broad, wide stroke assumptions about another person, about another ethnicity, about another religion. But the fact remains, that's true. And usually those stereotypes are born out of our own upbringing, our own, what we've been exposed to ethnically, religiously, socially. For instance, my parents are from the southern United States. They would readily admit that they are hillbillies, but they are a very kind-hearted, loving people, but very conservative in their thoughts and views religiously and politically. And they are for traditional Judeo-Christian values and, traditional Leave It to Beaver, Walton's type Americana. And so even though I was born in Ohio, I had a very southern upbringing. I went to a very southern church, and so yes, that has influenced a lot of my and shaped a lot of my views and a lot of my values. As I've grown older, I have changed some of these and modified them a little bit. And I may not totally 100% agree with my upbringing, but I understand that it was sincere. And a lot of it was culturally motivated. Now, I am proud to say that through my family lineage, that there was no prejudice on either side of my family. There is a great story of my grandfather, who was a carpenter in Kentucky, and he was out with a work crew one time, and they had a little black boy that carried around their tools. And it come lunchtime, and he said, "Come on home, my wife will fix you guys a nice good lunch." And so as they went home, and they were entering in my grandfather's house, and they told the black boy, "No, you stay out here and sit on the porch." And my grandfather just stood up and he said, "No, if he's not welcome, you're not welcome. He's coming in and eating with us." And my father, was loving and kind and treated everybody with the utmost respect, regardless of their, religion, ethnicity, or what have you. My neighbors that I grew up next to were a black family, and I played with the grandchildren. In elementary school, puppy love. My very first girlfriend was a little black girl. So prejudice has never really, racial prejudice has never really been, a part of my makeup or what I've been exposed to. However, there are other prejudice and stereotypes that creep up and rise up within me. One of these, and it has taken precedence in religious circles today, is they paint all Muslims with one broad stroke. Now, I have no arguments or qualms regarding what the Quran says and how Muhammad teaches his followers to treat Christians and Jews and those who reject Allah and Islam. That's pretty plain and simple, and so it even promotes extremism in the Islamic religion. And really, you can't say that Islam is a religion of peace based on Muhammad's own words and his own teachings. However, I do not believe that every Muslim is an infiltrator, that every Muslim is a hater of Westernism, that every Muslim is a hater of Jews and Christians, that every Muslim is a terrorist. That would be a stereotype. That would be painting them unfairly with one broad stroke, and that would be judging them I have had interaction with Muslim Kurds who escaped Saddam Hussein's regime, and they are some of the most loving, hospitable, kind people, and they do exude the attitude of Abraham, their father. They also claim Abraham as their father, and Abraham was the most hospitable man on the face of the earth. And so to say that all Muslims are wanting Sharia law, that all Muslims are wanting to take over whatever country that they immigrate to, all of them, want to fight the jihad, that would be a stereotype. That would be a prejudice. Now, I'll admit, I do have a struggle within me, and I fight very hard against those stereotype blanket statements when I see Islamic extremism and terrorism in the West, riots in France, and terrorism, homegrown terrorism, and things like that that are connected to radical Islam. And my flesh wants to rise up and say we should just get rid of them all, blah 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 blah. But that's my flesh. That's not, that's my emotions, that's my knee-jerk reaction, that's my fallen human nature that are taking over, and I have to stop and remind myself that not all Muslims are that way. Just as I don't want everybody to think that all Christians and Messianic Jews are, racist and bigoted and, right-wing fanatical and uneducated, and things of this nature, that all Christians and Messianic Jews are sex addicts, secret sex addicts and abusers, and they are money embezzlers. But yet, because of fallen priests and TV evangelists that have been in the spotlight, that's the way a lot of people stereotype and have a prejudice against Judeo-Christian values and Christians and Messianic Jews. And we're constantly being ridiculed and made fun of in the public forum in media, such as sitcoms and stand-up comedy and satire such as Saturday Night Live and Mad TV, etc., etc. So there is another stereotype that sometimes I battle within myself. I would consider myself more or less a libertarian or a patriot in regards to my political views, though I do agree with some but not all of the Republican stance. But the knee-jerk reaction, the stereotype, the painting with one broad stroke would want me to say that all Democrats are deconstructionist liberals who want to tear down the United States and want to do away with Judeo-Christian values and traditional morals and American values, and that they're all for abortion, that they're all for gay rights, whatever, things that I would be politically and religiously against. But that is simply not true. Not all Democrats are radical left-wing liberals. So not all the Democratic Party are the same. There's different degrees of Democrats, just as there's different degrees of Muslims and Christians and Jews and Hindus and whatever. Just fill in the blank there. So when I see the Democratic Speaker of the House and the Democratic leader, that are for these way extreme left-wing agendas, it tempts me and makes me want to think that all Democrats are like that, and I just lump them all in one basket. That is a sin and a fault on my part, because I know if I sat and rationally thought about it and not just went by my emotions, I would know that to be true. So on both sides of the fence, on the left and on the right, both peoples are not immune to bigotry, intolerance, assumptions, presumptions, racism, prejudice, both left and right. At least I have the guts to admit where I have my own faults and where my sins lie. And I readily admit that sometimes I think and feel certain ways, and I have to stop myself and just think rationally and get my heart and mind back into that Christ-like mode to get myself out of it, because my fallen sinful human nature wants to just be very militant and paint everybody and everything with one broad stroke for those who don't agree with me. And I know good and well that, not all liberals, not all Democrats, not all Muslims are these, extremists. There's different degrees, different flavors, and we can't be, we need to love each other, and we need to try to see things from other people's standpoints and viewpoints, even though we disagree with them. We can agree to disagree agreeably in love and in mutual respect. But so many times, especially on social media, because you are behind a computer screen and not face to face, people get very bold and audacious and disrespectful, and they say things and do things that they wouldn't normally say or do if they were confronted with that very statement or issue in person. And so anonymity breeds pride and smugness and arrogance, and then that's when the name calling start and the challenges start, and the debates and everything, and it's just futile because it goes nowhere, because two people are debating that are set in stone their view, and they won't be swayed no matter what. So it's senseless to fight and to debate online. Now, you might be hearing a lot of background noise. I'm in my car on my way to work. I've got the heater going. I'm going through slush and snow in some parts, so you may hear some kind of ambient background noise, so just want to let you know what that is. But anyway, hey, that's my raw confessional for today, and with the Lord's help, He is helping me overcome these stereotypes and racism and prejudice, and sometimes the propaganda type thinking that my fallen nature wants me to have. And I'm trying very hard to keep a Christ-like open mind and heart and attitude, and not make assumptions and paint everyone with one broad stroke, but to be fair, balanced, and unbiased. And that's something that we're always going to fight with in regards to our fallen human nature, regardless of what our political or religious persuasion or lack thereof is. That's just human nature. And we need to readily admit this, and to continually, with great effort, work on that to be a better person, to be a better human being, to be the kind of person that God and Messiah Yeshua would want us and have us to be. Hey guys, I love y'all, and I just also wanted to throw in there too that I have friends and acquaintances that I love dearly, I respect, but yet I don't agree with their religious, political persuasion or their lifestyle. But just because I disagree with them doesn't mean that I hate them, doesn't mean that I don't love them, doesn't mean that I'm going to treat them differently or with disrespect or smugness or what have you. I've got friends, who are Muslims. I got friends who are homosexual. I've got friends who are different, who are liberals. I even got, I've got friends from all lifestyle, political, and religious persuasions, and I love each and every one of them. We can agree to disagree agreeably, and they know that I disagree with their worldview, their stance, their religion, their politics, their lifestyle, but they love me, and we're friends because we have a mutual love and respect. We can agree to disagree agreeably. Just because I disagree with you doesn't mean that I hate you, and doesn't mean that I'm going to retaliate in a nasty sort of way against you. So just to throw that out there too. Hey guys, thanks so much for listening. Go out there and have a great day. Shalom, Shavua Tov, and God bless. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. And don't forget to check out and subscribe to our social media accounts. On Instagram at AD_International, on Facebook at Abraham's Descendants International, on Twitter at ADINT Ministries, and on Blogger at Ray Bash's Ramblings. And don't forget to check out and bookmark our website, abrahamsdescendants.com. Shalom.